Alright guys, so this is Layla. Leilani is your
Full name.
full name. Well, say your full name.
My full name is Leilani Sioson.
So Layla, I've known Layla. I mean, we refer to her as Layla. What would you like me to refer to
You can
you?
call me either.
Either. Okay.
You're used to calling me Layla. So
I'm used to her calling her Layla. So I've seen Layla grow up. Basically, her dad Ron, shout out Ron, we love you, is her dad, and he's been an agent with me even prior to Realty ONE Group. So it's been a long time.
10 years, I think.
10 years. I think he just had his
About
10 year.
10, yeah.
Great guy. We love the family. So Layla and my sons went to school, my older one especially. So you guys know each other.
Yes.
But it's always nice for me as a father to be like, all right, you know what? When your kid joins the business, so you know the lineage here goes further than your dad, and it goes with your grandmother.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about her and her personality and her feistiness. I know she passed recently, but which is obviously sad, and she's left an impact. I got the pleasure of meeting her,
Yes.
Priscilla, because she was vetting me before your dad joined.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was pretty much.
That seems like
It seemed like it, right? So
Yeah.
Ron and Priscilla, we met at Blackhawk Plaza at the Blackhawk Business Center, and we were in a conference room, and your grandma was like, so tell me about yourself, tell me this, tell me that, how does this work, and a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated the tenacity, but she was very lovable and very friendly,
Yes.
and so that was the thing. That
She's very tenacious.
yeah, tenacious for sure. So she
Yeah.
had it in blood. So my theory is that blood transferred to you.
Yeah.
Not again. I mean, no, nothing against Karma and her mom, but at the same time, from the business side of things, I think it came to you. So talk about your grandmother a little bit.
Okay, so a little backstory on Priscilla. Yes, she did pass last November. But so she was the first person in our family, from my Filipino side, to bring over her entire family to the United States.
Right.
So she came here around when my dad, I think he was like 5 or something like that.
Okay.
But she, wanted to follow the American dream, and so her and my grandfather came here. They spent some time here establishing themselves, and eventually she brought over her whole family. So she had 5 brothers and 5 sisters, I believe, or
Right, so
basically 10 siblings. She brought the whole
the
clan.
whole plan.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Wow.
it was all her idea.
That's and
Yes.
it takes a special person to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
To formulate a plan, to work it out, to help sponsor. I mean, that's not easy,
No,
And
no.
my parents sponsored some relatives too, but it was very taxing, because they had to get resettled, and it was tough. It's not easy for either party. So your grandmother did that, right?
Yeah,
And
she was a dreamer.
a dreamer. That's great.
Yeah.
That is a great takeaway, guys. You got to keep living the dream.
Dream big.
Dream big. See?
Yeah.
So on, just to break the ice a little bit, Layla was like, "Hey, I'm new in the business. What are you going to talk about?" But this is what the audience wants to know more about you, how you are, who you are, and they get to see some of the internal stuff what makes you who you are, right? So that's my goal, is to help you pull that out and extract and see how how the mind works from that perspective too. So now talk about growing up. Where were you born? Give us a little background.
Born and raised in the Bay Area. I was born in San Ramon, actually, right where our office is, just like 5 minutes away.
Really? I didn't know you were born in San Ramon. Oh,
San
okay.
Ramon Regional.
Regional.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, me and all my siblings.
Right.
We're all born there, and I've grown up in Danville, lived there in Blackhawk. My whole life, pretty
Your
much.
whole life, right.
Yes, so born and raised here. I have 2 sisters. I had a brother, he passed, unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. That's right.
Yeah, several years ago. But so it's just me, my sisters, and my parents.
Right.
Yeah, so we've been here our whole lives.
And-
So I went to school with your sons.
Right.
From
So-
elementary school, actually.
From elementary school, yeah.
Yes.
So that was the thing, and again, for me, I moved around so much when we were kids that I wanted the kids to be stable in
Yeah.
one, basically know the kids that they went to school from start to finish,
Right.
and that's the thing. So, and then you got your license when?
Back in like February.
February.
So yeah, not too long ago.
Not too long ago. So here's the thing. So Layla helps us, from an operations standpoint. She reports to Anila, who's our office manager, and you got to see how the ins and outs of real estate in a sense, and your dad encouraged you to get your license too, right?
Yes.
I think I did a little encouragement
Yeah.
as well, but I'm glad you got it,
yes,
right?
me too.
And the thing is, so now as a new agent, what have you learned in terms of, because you got a deal right from the get-go, right? As soon as you got your license,
Yes.
pretty much.
Closed
Your first deal.
Yeah.
And that was an off-market, right?
The one I'm working on is off market.
Off market, I'm sorry. But
yeah.
the first one was on MLS, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that one, and then you ended up representing both sides, correct? Okay. So that is like a blessing from God, I think, because when you first get into the market, you get into this business, you get a listing, and then and then the buyer says, hey, Layla, I don't have an agent, I want you to represent me. And so luckily you had the support system and the mentorship and of course your dad and us to guide you through that. I'm sure Anila helped
Big
as well.
thanks to my mentor in the office.
Okay, which is great.
helpful.
Yeah, so she'll keep us all on the right track. The main thing was that was a relatively simple deal, correct?
Yeah, I mean there were some challenges.
Some
but,
challenges,
yeah.
okay. So overall, you closed, you're happy. Okay, now let's talk about this next one. The next one is very challenging because there's an appraisal situation, right?
Yes.
Appraisal and a big appraisal gaps. Now, welcome to the club because now you feel what us as realtors go through, right?
Yes.
And your fellow agents that they go through, because those are the things, because real estate on the outside when you're outside looking in, it looks so easy, right? That these guys are just making money, the deals are closing, and now...
I honestly, yeah.
Yes? Did you feel that way?
I did, a little.
Okay,
Yeah.
So what do you think of it now that you got smacked with this thing, and what do you feel?
It's definitely not as easy as it looks.
Right.
That's for sure. There's definitely challenges you have to overcome. But I'm in a way grateful because I'm learning a lot in the process and learning a lot very soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now in terms of how are you explaining that to your client of this challenge, because that's the tough part, right? When you're dealing with an obstacle, but what has prepped you to be able to handle this? That's what I want to know.
Support is very helpful, obviously. Anila helps me a lot. My dad as a realtor.
Right.
So just having that support there always helps. And also I've been working with Anthony Young from our last monthly meeting. He's been very helpful too.
Right. Shout out Anthony.
Yeah,
too.
shout out.
So we got to give you some love, Anthony, on this too. Hopefully you see this video because we're publicly giving you some love.
Yeah.
And publicly and privately.
Yeah.
But so you're doing an appraisal appeal, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, when you guys have a property that doesn't appraise and you're just like, okay, what am I going to do? Anthony shared with us some tools and his service as well that, hey, there's a way to appeal it, but there's a proper way of going about it, right? So you're going through the steps to try and appeal the appraisal.
Yes.
Now, our hope is, fingers crossed, that this deal will go through,
Yes.
right? But at the same time, both sides sometimes have to give to put it in. And when you came to me with this situation, I was like, oh, I'm happy for you because because you get to see, what the true essence of real estate is. I mean, you got a nice warm deal on the first one, right?
Yeah.
And it was relatively smooth. But this one, I think, create a little bit of a panic.
A little bit of stress, for sure.
A little bit of stress.
A little stressed out to my life.
So for those that are not realtors, not agents in this world, hey, there is a lot of stress involved. But has that minimized your love for real estate at this point, or do you feel like not wanting to do this?
No. I learned to not give up. Right. I mean, there's been obviously times where I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I just, I want to.
Which is natural.
Yeah, I feel like everybody.
I mean, I felt that way yesterday.
Same. But I just try to. My grandma was a big inspiration in that sense. Just to keep pushing through, no matter what challenges you go through, just make it happen, and you'll be happy in the end when it all pays off.
Pays off, yeah. So for you, being, what are you, Gen Z?
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yes.
Okay, for the Gen Zs that haven't had life's challenges, I mean, you've had some life's challenges, of course, right?
Yeah.
And I've been witness to that. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's the invincibility and those kind of things, and you suffered obviously a loss with your brother passing, which affects everybody, right? And you can't walk away from something like that without it affecting you. So, and I give you credit because you guys have a loving family, and
Yes.
and your sisters are great. They've they've helped
I'm
out
super
with,
close with my family.
which is I mean. I think people would be envious of that because I get to see that as well, and I'm really happy for you from that regard too. Of course. So, and your sisters have helped us out with events and things like that too. So it's great that you can order them around because they're younger, and you're like, okay, you need to show up and do this and do that, right? But I mean, you're a great.
Luckily, they
sister.
listen to me most of the time.
Most of the time. Most of the time. So it's like you're like a second mom to them, right? In that sense, to guide them. But from the perspective of the challenge of a real estate deal, it is a real estate deal. It's not necessarily life and death. It's life and death of the transaction. I get it, and we want to get through it, but there's usually a solution for everything in real estate. Most real estate deals, they actually make it. We make it across the finish line. Very rare where it falls apart. I mean, yes, there's emotions involved. Have you seen that yet? Emotions in a real estate deal? Have you felt that, like,
Yeah. I felt like crying before.
Well, not only your own emotions, but what about your clients' emotions? Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. A lot of impatience.
A lot of impatience.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's setting expectations. It's setting expectations for yourself too. And I know you've attended a lot of the events at the office that we've had, trainings and things like that. But until you actually walk the path, right, which is covered with glass, broken glass and shards of glass, until you walk it, you may not really feel it, right? And so that's really what my perspective for you was like, hey, look, you're getting into this business. Don't lose the love of it just because one deal, right?
Yeah,
so that's the thing, and because real estate is tough. I mean, it is tough, and I'm sure if you think back to what your grandmother, she went through and dealing with tenants and dealing with properties, right? You almost have to look at that and be like, oh man, that was tough. So don't give up on it if it's hard, because it's hard, but don't give up on it from that perspective too. But so what do you feel now with the challenging market, and what's your take on this? Are you just looking to see how things unfold?
Yeah, just keep going at it every day and see what happens. Yeah.
So the good thing is rely on us that have been in the market for a long time, in the marketplace, I should say, or in this industry, because even Rich, myself, we've seen a lot. So remember, good times don't last forever, and bad times don't last forever. And that applies to real estate as well.
Absolutely.
And now you saw, the last couple of years that you've been working with us, I think it's been almost 2?
Yeah.
Yeah? Really?
In March.
In March?
Yeah,
okay.
me
So
too.
2. Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, crap, this time is going by. So you saw a hot seller's market, right? Now, what would you call this market? No, the seller's market. So it's a buyer's market, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the buyers are dictating a lot of things. In most climates, most neighborhoods, buyers are dictating things. So now, in terms of, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you believe that there will be a seller's market again?
I think so.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Everything's always up and down, right?
Look at that. She sounds like a true real estate, seasoned professional now. No, that you're right.
Yeah.
It will. When will it happen, though? Exactly.
That's
That's the answer.
You don't know.
That's the answer. That really is the answer. We don't know, but we might see it, at some point sooner. It's hard to predict, but the market is its own entity, sellers and buyers and things like that. So, what about from your perspective now? You see real estate. Anything that you feel like, what's been your interaction with agents on the outside?
On the outside?
Yeah. What do you think of the agent on the outside? Be candid.
It's a little challenging being a new one, obviously, and I feel kind of on the younger side.
Right.
So it can be kind of intimidating.
Okay.
But luckily, I haven't dealt with too many mean people.
Too many mean people.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Luckily, most people have been
She's talking about outside Realty ONE.
Yeah.
Right? Outside
Yeah.
Realty ONE. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I think it's just interesting being kind of new to the game,
Right.
and also being younger, because I feel like people might underestimate you.
sure. No,
Yeah.
I can understand. Most of the time, and we have to start thinking based on accomplishments versus years in the industry. Because I've met agents, and you'll have met some, or you may have already, where they may have years in the industry, but their accomplishments aren't as much. So their experience level isn't there necessarily.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always mean that just because someone's been licensed for a long time, that they actually know what they're doing. So my advice to you and any new agents or agents that are at the intermediate level as well, or even expert level, is attend as many classes as you can.
Yeah.
Really try to absorb the info, ask as many questions as you want, rely on us, of course,
Yeah.
But don't try to figure it always out on your own. Of course, I'm not saying that, hey, you know what, don't think about it. Think about it.
Yeah.
Analyze the scenario, analyze the situation, analyze whatever your challenge it is, and try to apply yourself in terms of, hey, what's the solution? So you have to be solutions based, and that's the thing. So I'm excited for you. I think you've got a great career ahead. Layla's got a lot of talent. She's very well sought after. Some of you guys know that she's a professional model. So that's fantastic. You have that skill set, and that's basically you're running your own business in that sense too, right? So, and your sister's joining the ranks, right? Okay.
Yeah, I got my sister signed. Well, I didn't get her signed, but I helped.
You did the
I helped push her and encourage her to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's a tough world already on its own,
Yes.
very competitive and things like that. So I think that actually preps you because you've been doing it at such an early age,
Yeah,
right?
since I was 5.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the work ethic is there, guys. So and I think from that perspective, that has prepped you for this. And when we had an opening at the office, her dad reached out and said, "Hey, Layla would be interested, or you want to talk?" So we got a chance to talk. And
yeah, we were actually, me and my father, we were in New York. I was there for a photo shoot actually,
Right.
A Revlon hair photo shoot thing. And he was just like scrolling, or I think we were waiting to go to the airport, and he was just like, "Oh, David posted something," and I was like, "What did he post?" And he said, "They're looking for someone to work at the office," and he's
Right.
like, "I'm gonna message him, and you're gonna do it." And I was like, "No, I'm okay."
Right.
So.
But I think that was the best
Yeah.
thing for you, right?
I don't regret it.
And you don't regret it.
Yeah.
One compliment I need to pay Layla really is that she has a strong work ethic. You show up as a Gen Z.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys get a lot of I think it's just a lot of shit, that you guys get just as a generational. That you guys don't want to show up, you guys don't want to do this. I mean, there is some truth to it.
No, there is truth to it.
There's truth to
Yeah,
it. But in all honesty, I'm proud of you. You've done a great job. You've shown up. Just knowing that you show up to work is like, for me, I'm like, I'm not a baby boomer. I don't think I'm a baby boomer.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I am anymore. I have to check on what category I'm in. But so I appreciate that, and I think that foundational support from your family, your dad.
I have to shout out to my dad.
Yeah, your dad.
For sure.
Your mom, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that is, really the fundamentals of why you're successful and why you will continue to be successful. So,
Thank you.
Of course. So I'm excited, guys. For anyone that needs help on the real estate side, please don't let the fact that Layla is new to the business really, stop you from contacting her. She's great at it. She's got the support system, great attitude, always trying to help her clients out, and we see that. And her work ethic is top notch. So definitely reach out to her. Thank you again for joining and sitting down. I know you're a little like, what is he going to ask me? What's he going to ask me? But I just wanted the viewers to see that, hey, what your background is, and really what's motivating you and what keeps you going, those kind of things. So any last you want to say, any other advice to anybody?
Just keep working hard. Don't let challenges stop you. Even if you feel like it, you can do it. And always believe in yourself.
That's great, and shout out to God too,
Yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
so we got to remember God in all of this. But she's got great mentors here. For anyone who's new in business or wants to get into business, contact us. Join rogfuture.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you.